Hello! What I thought I would show you today is I would do you an April update, and then you can see for yourself how everything is getting on. It's getting a little bit windy out here. We are due a load of wind starting tonight and going through most of tomorrow, but it's not going to be, the wind's not going to be as strong here as it is down in the southwest and in Wales. They're going to get it quite bad because Storm Hannah is coming in. Who knew? Anyway, so we should get quite a lot of rain as well, which will be brilliant. But before that appears, I thought I would just show you how everything is getting on. So let's first of all go in the greenhouses. Right, so I have taken the camera off of the tripod, so I'm hoping that I keep it fairly steady for you. These are the giant exhibition onions. They're still a little small, but they're getting there. They took a long time to come up, but they're on their way, and hopefully in the next few weeks I should be able to get them outside. They're about 5 inches tall. Some of them are a little bit smaller, but they're doing very well. These are my aubergines here, and as you can see, some of them I pricked out a little while ago, and the ones that have actually got their first set of true leaves, I did prick these out before, so I did some and then I pricked out a few more, so they're coming along very well. We've got chilies here. They're on their way. Their first set of true leaves on some of them are just starting to appear, which is great. I've got lots of different varieties here, and I've got some other leeks here. I've already put in a load of leeks, but I got another packet, so I planted these a little bit later, but they're coming up, so I'm going to give these most probably another 2 or 3 weeks, and then hopefully they'll be ready to go out. Down here we've got some Romanesco cauliflower. I love these. These are absolutely fabulous. They're the green ones and they're sort of a pyramid-y shape. I've filled out all the space in the brassica cages, so I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put these, but I'm sure I will find space. But they're most probably be ready to go out in a couple of weeks. And I've got some lettuce here, all of varying sizes. That one came through really early on, and then the rest took a little while, but they are on their way. Now around the other side, here are some tomatoes. They're doing well. They will be ready to go in their larger pots, but when I come to do that I will show you. The spaghetti squashes are coming up well, but they can't go out until all frost has gone in the area, well, around here, so that'll be the beginning of June, but they'll be much bigger by then. Any cucurbits can't really go out until all frost has gone in your area. There's more tomatoes, they're doing well. I've got some melons here which seem to be doing fabulously, so hopefully soon they will be going into their bigger pots, but again I will show you when that happens. I've got some sweet corn here which is coming up. I sowed this a couple of weeks ago, so it is popping through. It's taking its time, but it is coming through, but this has still got plenty of time before it can go outside, so that's fine. Down here I've got some coriander which needs to go out very, very soon. That's looking lovely, and some more tomatoes and some more onions down here which do need a bit of a sort out because some of them haven't taken, but lots are ready to go out. And here I've got some mustard, hopefully you can see that because it's got quite dark, mustard oriental greens which will need to go out fairly soon. And there's my okra, which I'm really pleased with. It's doing ever so well. Hopefully you can see that. There we go. So I will keep that in here until it's a little bit bigger, and then I will put them in their individual pots. But again, I will show you. And my gourds, which you can't eat, they're for decoration only, but they're coming up quite well. This one here, don't know if you can see this one has just is not developed properly, so that one I will throw away, but lots of the other ones have come up fabulously. I've got some dill here which will be ready to go out fairly soon, and again I've got some more pumpkins and courgettes, but they can't go out until the beginning of June. And in this greenhouse here, I've mainly got flowers which aren't quite ready to go out yet. There's my viburnum, which I'm going to put round the back of the chicken house and round the side, because that'll give a nice little bit of colour. And then lots of other flowers here that can go in the beds and the pots. But these ones up here actually could do with going out fairly soon, but the ones down the bottom here, I've just pricked them out, so they just need to do a little bit more growing. There's some sunflowers growing there, so hopefully they will bring lots of lovely colour and some height to the garden. And now on to the beds. This is the fruit bed. There's the rhubarb, which is technically a vegetable, but we all grow it in our fruit patches. I've just noticed this here. This is a seed head on one of the rhubarbs. So all you need to do is to just cut it off right down at the base and then get rid of it, unless of course you want to keep some seeds, but I've got plenty of rhubarb there, I don't need to keep any more. I've got some lovely gooseberries that are coming up that are doing really well there, and I've got one over there which only seems to have green bits on a little bit, but you know, hopefully it'll sort itself out. And another couple here. I've got some currant bushes there. There's my raspberries, which are doing very well, and then at the back I have got a tree which is a green gage, that's the one it is, and then all around the outside I've got some lovely strawberries growing, where we are actually getting flowers on some of those, which is fab. And I have got a grape here which I'm hoping will actually grow up all the way up this structure. And on the other side there's another grape here which has just started to leaf, so I'm hoping that they will both actually meet. Here I've got, it's gone completely ballistic. I think it's my goji, should be my goji, but it's gone completely mental, so I might have to actually give that a little bit of a prune. And in here, just there, I've got a cranberry. Now in this bed here I've got some peas growing. I've also got my leeks, or one lot of leeks that are in here. These are my mussel burr, and they've just started coming up is a little row of turnips. I've got a couple of rows of parsnips here, but I only sowed those a few weeks ago, so nothing has started to come up yet, but they will very, very soon. And in here is one of my brassica cages, and I have got all sorts in here. I've got cabbages, I've got cauliflowers, and I have got some broccoli I've got in there as well. And at the very end on the other side, let's see if we can walk down here. I've managed to squeeze in a few cauliflowers down here, but this tree here is a plum which is just starting to bud up, which is great. And in this bed here I've got 3 rows of potatoes. They haven't started to come up yet. I only planted those in most probably about 2-3 weeks ago, so they're quite a long way down, so hopefully fairly soon they should start coming up. I've got a big space here which I will fill eventually, but not quite yet. And in here I've got my red Brunswick onions, which I've recently sowed, so they seem to be quite happy. We're getting there, we're nearly there. Down here I've got my broad beans growing. They're getting and settling in quite well. And in this other brassica cage here I've got all sorts. I've got kale, I've got Brussels sprouts, and some other bits and pieces. What are those? Oh, brew kale. I've got a few brew kale in there. And then up the other end here, what I have got growing, I've got a little space here, so I will plant some things in there in due course. I've got some beetroot in here which are just, I think they're just starting to, yes they are, they're just starting to come through just there. and these are a mixture of yellow ones and red ones. I've got 2 rows of beets. I've also got some spring onions, and I've got some carrots which are just starting to come through. If you can see those just starting to come through, so they're doing really well. And then finally, at the back of the garden, I've got my asparagus, which we keep picking, or I keep picking, and loads more keeps growing, so I need to harvest some more of that. These here, let me get out of the shadow, these are my garlic, and I planted those in the autumn, and they're getting really big. Well, some of them are, most of them are actually. There's the odd 1 or 2 which is really quite tiny, but I'm so pleased with those. And at the very back here, hopefully you can see it, is I've got a tayberry, and I just need to sort of sort some form of structure out for it to climb up. Here in this bed here, I've only got one thing at the moment, and that's my kiwi, which seems to be quite happy. Again, I need a structure for that to grow up, but I will get there. And this is all empty at the moment, but I will fill it in. I've got the Belfast sink here, and I've got some radishes growing in. These were the first ones that I sowed, and they're doing really well, and I keep harvesting those. These ones are called Pearl. So they're coming up absolutely fabulously. The next lot are just about to come up, and I sowed these ones a little while ago, so they haven't come up yet. And you're most probably wondering what on earth is in all these buckets apart from a load of soil. I've got lots of buckets here, and I've got some buckets up the end there. In here I've got a load of Sarpo Mira potatoes. I sowed, these are 30-litre pots here, and I sowed 3 seed potatoes per pot. So hopefully they'll do really well. Oh, one other thing, the blueberries. I've got 2 blueberries. Here's one here, which is coming up very nicely, but this one over here I'm really pleased with, because we've got loads and loads of flowers. And in fact, oh no, that's not a fruit. It was teasing me, but we've got loads and loads of flowers on here. So hopefully I'll have lots of blueberries very, very soon. Well, hopefully that gives you some idea of what's going on in my garden. I've still got some flower beds, but I thought I won't show you those this time, because they need a little bit of weeding doing to them. But it's all coming together, it's all filling up, so that's great. I've still got spaces, but that's fine, because I've still got lots of things that need to go in. So that's really cool. Well, I hope you found what I've shown you useful. I've just shown you around, really. So I hope your garden or allotment is growing absolutely brilliantly, and I hope you're having a fabulous time. Well, I will try and do an update in May. Didn't manage to do one in March, but I will try and do one in May, and hopefully lots of things would have grown quite a lot by then. See you soon. Bye-bye.